Every few years, a familiar fear comes back. Mobile phones in your pocket, Wi-Fi in your home, cell towers on rooftops. And suddenly, the claims start spreading. Infertility, heart damage, cancer. The technology changes fast, but the anxiety spreads even faster. So let's slow this down for a moment and ask a simple question. What does physics and medical science actually say? Not rumors, not headlines, evidence. First, we need to understand what kind of radiation we're talking about because not all radiation is the same. Electromagnetic waves fall into two very different categories. On one end, there is ionizing radiation, like X-rays and gamma rays. These waves carry enough energy to damage DNA directly. This is the kind of radiation that can increase cancer risk. On the other end, there is non-ionizing radiation, and that's where mobile phones, Wi-Fi, radio, and television live. Mobile and Wi-Fi signals simply don't have enough energy to break chemical bonds or damage DNA. From a physics standpoint, they can't do the kind of cellular harm that ionizing radiation does. The only consistently proven physical effect is a very small amount of heat, and even that is tightly regulated. So if these waves can't damage DNA, where do the health concerns come from? One common fear involves keeping a phone in your pocket, especially when it comes to male fertility. The testes are sensitive to heat. Prolonged temperature increases can temporarily reduce sperm quality. Some small studies have reported slight changes in sperm count or motility in men who frequently keep phones in their front pockets. But here's the part that usually gets skipped. These studies often have serious limitations: small sample sizes, self-reported phone use, and poor control of confounding factors. More importantly, the effects, when observed, are mild, inconsistent, and reversible. There is no reliable evidence showing an increase in real-world infertility. And when you zoom out, a more mundane explanation becomes far more convincing: heat from the phone itself, tight clothing, prolonged sitting. Not radiation, just thermodynamics and lifestyle. What about the heart? This is another persistent concern, especially claims about arrhythmias or long-term cardiac damage. From a physiological perspective, there is no plausible mechanism by which non-ionizing radiation from phones could disrupt heart tissue or electrical conduction. Large studies looking at heart rhythm, arrhythmias, and cardiovascular disease have not found meaningful associations with mobile phone use. The signal just isn't there. Then there's the fear of living near cell towers. This belief is widespread and deeply unsettling for many people. But here's a counterintuitive fact. At ground level, the radiation exposure from cell towers is usually lower than what you get from your own phone. Cell towers are designed to project energy outward, horizontally, not downward toward the base. Multiple epidemiological studies examining populations living near cell towers have found no increase in infertility, no consistent rise in cancer, no stable hormonal disturbances. If cell towers truly cause sterility or serious disease, we would expect to see clear geographic clusters. They don't exist. So where does this leave us? Based on the strongest scientific evidence available today, everyday exposure to mobile phones and Wi-Fi has not been shown to pose a real health risk. If there is any effect at all, it is tiny, especially when compared to well-established risks like smoking, obesity, physical inactivity, or air pollution. Science doesn't stop asking questions. Research continues. But right now, the balance of evidence points clearly in one direction. Under normal living conditions, mobile and Wi-Fi radiation appear safe. The real dangers to human health aren't invisible waves in the air. They're far more familiar and far easier to ignore.